It's working. Yeah. Hey everyone. I was asked today to share a story. So this is the story of my client, Andreas. He's a German guy. He works at Babywals, a German website doing great, selling baby accessories in Germany. But now he wants to enter the French market when he's doing nothing. And he doesn't know anything about French, except maybe that they eat baguettes. Hopefully, he heard of Doz. Doz will help Andreas to go in France. Let's see how. First, Andreas connect on Doz.com. He enter his website and click on Start. Right now, Doz is analyzing Andreas' website to know exactly what are his marketing needs. Then, Andreas will select the traffic sources he wants to receive his visitor from. Those do only organic traffic, no advertising. Andreas enters the number of visitors he wants to receive per month, the length of his campaign, and he has right now a price of what he will be paying per month, no surprise. He click on Continue and enter some more details, which market he's entering, which language, obviously it's French, and some more details about his campaign. It's done. Now Doz has enough data about Andreas and his company and his website to start a marketing campaign. But I told you, it's organic traffic. Organic traffic means that the work is done by humans. It's not advertising. So now, those algorithms will select and filter the best marketing professionals based in France that know about Andreas' industry and will start working on the campaign. Just like Mary. She's French, she eats baguettes. But she's also a mom and has connected her social network and professional networks to those platforms. Those has identified Mary to be a marketing professional. She also has a blog about babies, which is her passion. Now, when Mary connects herself to those platforms, she will receive tasks that match her skills, her availability, but also her passion. So here she has a blog post of 500 words to write about her passion. She accepts the task, and she will go on My Task and see how many tasks she has to do. She can click on more details to see what are the tasks she has to do and get the marketing brief from the campaign. Click on Valid, and now she will submit her content to other marketing professionals also working on Andreas' campaign. Those marketing professionals will review the work of Mary on a peer review basis. And now Mary can see that she has a lot of tasks validated. So she can ask for payments and make maybe a present to her daughter. When Mary wants to stop working and want to go on holidays, she clicks on No on the top and she won't receive tasks anymore. This is easy as this. Mary gets paid for working on what she likes and what she knows about. On the other side, Andreas connects to those managers, and he doesn't care about paying or managing, talking to Mary. Neither the other 6 experts in marketing that are working right now on his campaign. What Andreas cares about is to click on My Reports and to see how well the campaign is going on. How many blog posts have been published for him in France? How many links for SEO purpose have been acquired? Andreas needs to report to his boss, so he clicks on My Stats. He has basic stats like keywords ranking on search engines, and also comparison with his competitors. But what is more interesting for Andreas is to go on traffic sources and see where the traffic provided by those is coming from. Here there is a blog post that is providing over 1,000 visitors last week. Actually, this is a blog post from Mary. He doesn't care about it. He just thinks that it might be someone eating baguettes in France. But what is really important now is that France has become the second largest market for Andreas. With a small investment, Andreas is confident about going global. And with those, he can go tomorrow in 10 other countries, and even in 20 other countries by the end of the year, because those help websites to go international. So we have been prototyping for over a year in France, in Europe, doing European campaigns, over 150 campaigns, $500,000 in revenues. We are launching today in the US to help US websites and US brands to go international, spending their $100 billion outside the US in advertising. We are cash flow positive, are now based in San Francisco, and are looking for investors that want to help us accelerate our growth. Thank you.
Paul, what did you think? What did you think, Naval?
So I've actually seen this for a while. It used to be called Capsia when you guys were in France. And it seems like you've taken an approach that normally would be highly manual and sort of agency-based by the hour, and you're trying to create a marketplace around it, which I think makes it more scalable. The only thing I wonder is, like, I think you're going to have to work to convince investors that this can be a venture scale business, that it can have a large exit. There are enough people who want this, there are enough people who provide it, and that at some level that what's going on here underneath is real value is being created and not something that's sort of spamming or scamming, right? Because this whole area, the problem is because you're on the border of SEO and paid blog marketing, and demand media notwithstanding, I just think that space has a bad reputation with investors. So you just kind of have to convince people that it's a white hat, creating sustainable value, and that it can be a very large business. But congratulations to you on being cash flow positive and for trying to productize what historically has been a purely agency business.
Because you've blended Google Analytics and services like Scripted or Contently, which are offering this kind of marketplace for writers to develop some very specific content, and you've sort of blended it in a way which is kind of interesting. Like Naval, the challenge is how much do you need to run in terms of budgets through that engine to actually be a big company, and that's where I wasn't clear.
Is there a reason why you're emphasizing the international translation component? Because it seems like this would work without having to focus on the international piece.
Yeah, in fact, we think that in the marketing, it's not about translation. It's really about creating the content and the marketing, like we call inbound marketing, directly from the sources. So,
sorry, not trying to be an ass here, but the presentation was very confusing for me. I figured out what you're doing, and it actually does seem quite interesting, but I would probably try and get that message across in the first 30 to 60 seconds. Losing the international component, like the example with France, to me is incredibly distracting. Like that wouldn't be my first market to go after if I were doing internationalization, and I think it detracts from the focus on, hey, we're scripting automation of some marketing tasks and crowdsourcing those tasks, which I actually think is...
Yeah, actually, what is kind of difficult to explain here is that it's not crowdsourcing. It's what we call pro-sourcing, because we are applying filters and algorithms to the people. They are not bidding each other.
At this point, I'm an investor saying I'm interested. Should I
take your
try
feedback.
to disagree with me about terminology?
No, thank you for your feedback. No problem. But I'm just saying that this is why it's hard to explain. The work we have been doing is...
I don't think it's hard to explain. I think you could actually make this relatively easy to explain. It is interesting.
Yeah, I will
just try and shorten it.
You have 30 minutes.
Let it go. Don't argue with
it. I just want to ask if he has 30 minutes to give feedback to me.
Yeah, he will. Jeff, the France example obviously threw you for a loop as well, yes?
And I can't eat baguettes anyway. No, I think I agree with Dave. I think it's interesting. I'm not clear as to how big that is, but it was very confusing, and that's always an issue for entrepreneurs. You don't want the investors to try and understand what the hell you're doing while you're pitching them. You need to sort of deliver it to us in the crispiest way so we understand and we engage. Otherwise, we'll do something else like, reading email.
give me that. I'm getting it. Give it to me. I'm taking it from him. That's it.
He's actually using it for research.
I'm doing research. I was actually
watching him.
That's it. On behalf of the entrepreneurs.
Oh.
That's it. You're on timeout. That's it. You're on official time. You're on timeout, Dave. Dave. All right, fine. I'll give you your devices back.
He actually is doing research.
And I'll take you for Froyo later.
He's been signing up for all the services and doing research while they're pitching.
All right. I know it just looks bad when your eyes, Dave, when your eyes are down and you're looking at that, the entrepreneurs, it throws them off when they see 5 judges making eye contact.
They get thrown off. That's just like at a pitch meeting. It's actually context relevant.
But for 5 minutes, can you just watch the presentation and not surf the web?
But you had a very unique demo experience.
Other questions?
All right, any other questions?
Dave here, it's better for entrepreneurs to face investors the way they naturally behave.
But Naval, you would not do that in a meeting.
Doing it right now.
He actually is.
But in my defense, I have his AngelList profile on, so I'm looking at that.
So I have a question to get us back on track.
Okay, sorry.
many customers, you said you're cash flow positive, how many customers do you have using your network today?
So we have been doing 150 campaigns. So we don't count by customers because one consumer can go from, let's say, France and in 10 countries in Europe. So that will be 10 different campaigns. So yeah, but the figure is like 150 for over a year, and we are looking at 1,000 this year.
So you said cash flow positive.
Yeah.
What's the revenue you're doing right now?
So we did $500,000 in the prototype base. So we're a small team.
So if you're doing $500,000 in revenue, that should be one of the first fucking things you say in the first 30 seconds. You should be telling me,
Pretty awesome.
$500,000 in revenue, we're cash flow positive.
Well,
You did say cash
He said
flow
that, but
positive.
no, he said that.
Way far into the presentation.
I said that at the end, yeah.
presentation.
Okay.
But it
But
seems
what
like
wasn't clear to me, it was $500,000 in revenue versus $500,000 in transactions. Because typically for ad platforms, you will run budgets and you will take a cut. And it wasn't clear to me that this was actually your revenue as opposed to what had been thrown through the
60% gross margin on each
That's
campaign.
also a really interesting fucking number.
Yeah, but we have 5 minutes. It's really hard to.
Oh, dude, come on. Like, this is 101. If you've got traction, state it in the first 30 seconds. You've got revenue, you're cash flow positive, you've got a 60% margin. Those are really interesting things. Fuck the rest of the story. Tell me that data right away.
And no need for the baguettes.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it. Well done, Joe. Next up. Good job.
You do have an interesting business, even though I'm bitching.